Yeah, good morning once again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, from wherever you are joining from. We welcome you to this month's edition of our monthly meetup for the microfabric community in Nigeria. We are a community of fabric lovers, Power BI developers. We meet monthly and we talk about Power BI, Microsoft Fabric, and everything around it. So this is the May edition of our monthly meetup, and I welcome us all. And today we are going to be having two great sessions, one from Olayemi and the other one from Ahmed Lowo. So one session on fabric as our culture and one session on Power BI as well. So we are going to take the two sessions, and of course we are going to do a lot of learning for this month's edition. And next month, we are having our annual Global Fabric Day. I think I'm very excited about that. And we are looking forward to having it in person. The details of the venue and all of that will be communicated to us. So if you are in Lagos, please anticipate and we are going to have that session. It's going to be a full day event, but let's just have this month meet up and then we communicate all the details concerning the Global Fabric Day to us accordingly. So I welcome us once again. So I'm going to be inviting our first speaker in person of Olayemi Awofe, who is also a fabric data engineer. He's one of our community members, and we are glad he's able to join us today. Good morning, Olayemi. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Francis. I'm good. I don't know if the background noise is much. I don't know, but I believe you can hear me clearly.
I can't hear anything.
Jesus Christ.
I can't hear the background noise, I mean, but you are
Okay,
loud
okay,
and
okay,
clear.
okay, okay, okay. Good morning,
So
everyone.
over to you. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. It's good to be here once again. So without any further ado, without too much talk, I would like to just jump straight into onto my laptop and start what we are here for. And because I know that we are here to learn and we are here to share idea and we are here to, I myself, everybody, we are here to create, to learn one or two. Yeah, so that's why we are here. So I'll make sure I will not waste any of our time. So on my topic, right? I believe we all know my topic, but let me just repeat myself. So my topic is data migration from on-prem data to. Oh, Francis, you want to say something?
Yes, we are not sharing the screen. Don't see the screen.
I'm doing that right now.
Oh, thank you.
I believe you can see my screen.
Yes, you can see.
Okay. So is on-prem data, sorry, is on-prem data migration. What did I mean by on-prem data migration? I believe we are going to be seeing that in action to Microsoft's data storage. Is either we are migrating to a warehouse or we are migrating to normal standard Fabric SQL. But I believe we are going to be doing normal Fabric SQL today. So we are moving the data from our local PC and we are moving the data our our Fabric, right? And if it is you are using virtual machine, the same process is what come across. How to do it is the same process, nothing different. So that's what we are going to be doing today. So before I do anything at all, I would like to first show the data set that we are going to be working with, then the step that we are going to be taking for us to be able to uh, get into what we want to do properly. And for those that are going to be like maybe listing things or putting step down, right? So please you can do that right now. So and at the same time, I'm going to drop the step as well after the call or while we are on the call. So this is the database that we are working with. So this is my own local PC. This is my own virtual machine, right? That is hosting this particular DB, and I have just two DB on that virtual machine, on that server, right? And this is the name of my server. Supposed to block this, but anyways, nobody should come out. Anyways, I'll still delete the user So you like, so yeah, then we have two database in here. So we have Adventure Works 2025 database, and inside that database we have tons of tables and the log schemas. It's currently loading. So we have all these tables. We can see um, many tables that we have. Um, Even we have views, we have some procedures, we have functions, everything we have inside this database, right? That is already properly functioning, right? So what we want to do is that want to move everything from here. It's more of like, oh, something maybe the SQL database, right, can serve as a maybe like an operation DB. So and then you want to have like version of it on the cloud, right, where it's just reading from the DB, right? So I just have like duplicate of it on the fabric side of things for analytical use cases, right? For BI, for day-to-day reporting stuff, right? So and the DB, right, will not be disturbing the reporting will not be disturbing the operation, right? So I believe that's the standard, that's how it's meant to be. So and that's what we want to do today. So and I believe I'm not going to take much of our time. Yeah. So first of all, things that we need to first get in before we have this. First of all, if you are working in like in with an organization account that you are not the fabric admin, right? You will need access. You need your fabric administrator to grant you access. Let me type the assets that you need assets that you need. So you need uh, what is it called? Gateway, right? You need Power BI gateway. I'm going to show us how to get that Power BI gateway. Then you need to approve that all the organization. You need to get approval to be able to create DB, or the already like your admin already creates the workspace, add DB there. So you just add it as a member of the workspace. Anyhow you want to go, but you have to like have some uh approval to be able to do some things in for you to be able to carry out the task. So to get data, sorry, okay, to get Power BI gateway, right? For those that have already connected with Power BI, sorry, SQL with Power BI before on their local PC or with the machine or anything on the server, right? So for scheduling and all those stuff, right? So we need Power BI gateway for that, right? So because of that, so I believe those are already familiar with Power BI Gateway. But for those that have not, this is where you can get Power BI Gateway. Just search on your Google that Power BI Gateway, right? Download, and I believe you are going to this is the page that you are going to be seeing. Or let me just copy the link and put it in the chat. So yeah, so Power BI Gateway, that's the link in the chat. So all you need to do is download the standard mode. Just download the standard mode. And once you download the standard mode, let me quickly get Power BI Terminal Gateway.
Eh, bon.
So when you open your gateway, right, vaccine process. So when you open your gateway, so you need to sign in with your login account, right? You need to sign in with your login with your Microsoft Entra. I mean your normal Microsoft account. It has to be organization account though, the one that you are using for your what's it called, for your fabric, right? The one that you're using for the Power BI account, your proper org account, right? So that's what you're signing with. Although if you are not the admin, right? The admin is the one that needs to set this thing up. Your administrator needs to set this thing up. So all they need to do is to set the create login, create the data gateway, yeah, right, and make sure that the data gateway is up to date, right? So that's what they need to do for the data gateway, yeah, right. But if you are using your normal personal accounts you want to practice before you do this in your normal for a client or for your company, right? So what you need to do is that you can you log in, you install it, you sign in with your account. So once you sign in with your account, you'll be able to create the gateway, right? So I'm going to do sign in with my account right now. So let me quickly take it off here, camera, so I can do that. Uh, sorry, sometimes I forget my the minute, please. So yeah, so I'm logging in. The minute, please. The network is kind of slow. Yeah, yeah, not this morning, no. Behave. So once you log in, this is what you are going to be seeing. Although this is not what you are going to be seeing, if you are logging in first, you need to create your connector. You need to create your gateway. So this is my gateway. This is the name of my gateway. I call it SQL Connect. But don't worry about the spelling, right? Yeah. So it's online and ready to use and all those stuff. So you make sure that it's ready and all those stuff. So the settings, if you need to restart it, this is where you need to restart it because sometimes when you are setting this thing up, right? So maybe you have the gateway on your system already, right? Then you are trying to set things up. The gateway might be like the gateway might be old version of that gateway, right? So and you try to do you try to do your connection. I'll show us when I get there where you should be expecting error. So if you see that error, just know that it's because uh your data gateway is not up to date. So you update it on your fabric side and you come and restart it here. Once you do that, it's going to be up to date. Then if you need to diagnose anything or connect to anything, this is where you need to get that done. So that's that on the gateway. Why do we need gateway? So gateway will serve as the uh, gateway will serve as a bridge between your on-prem data, right? Between the data that is sitting on your laptop or your virtual machine or your whatever, or your server, anything. So it's going to serve as the bridge between it and Fabric, right? Between it and Fabric. So it's going to serve as the bridge. So it will be the one that will do the connector that will pick this data pass to it and land this data into where you want to land this data to. So that's why we need to have our data gateway in place. So it's very, very important, right? So once you have your data gateway, so you go to, let me pick the workspace that I'll be using for this work. Which one should I use? I think I should use this. Okay, let me use this. So I'll be using this workspace for or let me use the one now. Uh, so I'll be using this workspace uh, for my demo, right? And make sure that your workspace is Fabric enabled, is on Fabric trial, not is either Fabric trial or Fabric capacity. And to do that on your workspace settings, you click on settings on the workspace settings here. So, and you come down here, right? Is it down here? I think it's somewhere around here. When you're sharp creating the account, right? You will see it should say the what is it called?
Workspace time.
What do you say?
Under workspace time.
Okay. Well, it's already there already. Okay. Oh yeah. So you need to do edit. Sorry. Thank you. My bad. I don't have my glasses on. So fabric trial. So you need to be on fabric trial, or you need to have like fabric capacity for you to be able to do that. So once you have your fabric enabled workspace, right? So then the next thing that you want to do, you want to first put in place is that you need to first create your bridge, right? Before you even start to paving way from where you are going to be. Okay, let me do this, use this as an example, right? Let's say the Power BI data gateway, right? We serve as terminal bridge for people on the island and people on the mainland, right? Let's do that. Let's say that maybe we are going to get it more. So then you need to first do that bridge. You need to first create that bridge and add that bridge. Make sure that the bridge is very strong. So that's what we are going to be doing now. So I click on workspace settings. So there's another setting at the top here. So if you are the admin, right? This is where you go to. And if you are the, like, maybe let's say you are not the admin, this is your work environment, probably you might not be the admin, right? So if you are not the admin, you explain to your admin to create the data gateway, and this is where you are going to connect the data gateway. So it's under manage and connection gateways. So when you go there, you are going to see your on-prem data gateway. You see the same name. Can you see the same name that I created the other time, right? So on our gateway, this is it. You can see. So I intentionally put the wrong wrong spelling, so it to be able to be very easier for us to know that, oh, that's the gateway. So you can see, we can already see the gateway here. Once you do that, once you create that gateway on your normal laptop and you sign in with the same account that you are using for Fabric, once you come here, you are going to see the gateway here. Right? Once you come here, you are going to see the gateway here. So that's the gateway. Then you need to create your connection, right? You need to create a connection. So to create a connection, you click on this add button here. You can see this add button, right? So you click on this add button, this new plus button at the top here. So once you click that, then you are going to see another button here, another section here by your right hand side, which is saying that gateway cluster name, right? So all you need to do is just come to the selection and pick the gateway that you want to the gateway that you want to use, right? So it's currently loading. Let's wait for it. So then you can quickly, so the next thing that you need to do is that maybe let's say you want to give it a name, right? You want to your connection, you want to create a name for your connection. So you can say fabric, okay, let's say ng should I put underscore ng sql movement. Let's say SQL injection. Ingestion. Don't mind me, I'm very bad at naming something. Right, so let's call it this. I don't know. Don't mind me. You can use any name for it, anyways. So me, I'm going to call it ng underscore. Yeah, what's it going to be? So I'm going to call it ng underscore SQL ingestor. Let's do it this way. I think we should do it that way. That is better, I guess. Then our connection type, what's our connection type? So since we are connecting to SQL Server, right? So we are going to say, okay, we are connecting to SQL Server. So you browse for SQL Server here. Perfect. So this is it, SQL Server, right? So you click on SQL Server, and immediately you click on SQL Server, it's going to be asking for your credential, right? Your server credential is going to be asking for it. So, and I already have my server, which I showed us. This one, this is going to be our server. I believe everyone on this call, right, I've connected to SQL Server before, or I have SQL Server on our local PC, or we've worked with SQL Server before. But if you've not, let me quickly show us how to do that. So when you want to connect with your when you open your data management studio, or you open your database, right? They will ask you to do it to create a connection. So how to create a connection, this is how to create a connection. So currently I'm using this user, which is Fabric user, which I created. I just created that for the demo, right? So Fabric user, I give the Fabric user access to the server, then some database in the server, right? Then this is it. So I'm using that Fabric user as my as the server that I want to connect to. Sorry, as the user that which I want to connect to, and my server name is Olayemi. That's my server name. I'm using SQL Authenticator, right? So that's what I'm using. Then it's active to ask for my password. So I'll put password there. Make sure you are using strong password, right? Then you can say remember password, right? So and you can trust, you can be anyhow you like, right? So once I do that, you see that now I'm connected to my DB now. So I can say, okay, what I want to do is that let's say I want to select top 100 from this database now. So I can see I have my top 100. I see that I have my top 100 from this from the business entity and sales stuff, right? So that's that about all this for now. So that's how we can be able to get our data this information, right? So once we're able to get that, so I'll come to this. Sorry, I'll give it a name, then I'll say database. So database will be SQL Adventure Works, right? So the Adventure Works, we are working with Adventure Works. That's what we are going to want to create the connector for Adventure Works, right? Then authentication method. So I pick basic. You remember that we use basic the other time, right? So I pick basics. So I'm going to be saying fabric. So fabric underscore user. So fabric underscore user. Right? So where did I get fabric underscore user? You will see that the server name, the user of that server name that I'm connecting to is fabric underscore user, right? So, and then it asks me for the password. Remember, I use password to sign in to my server using Microsoft SQL, my email studio right now. So that same password, I'll use it here. So I'll say password is this. Uh, Password is this. So that should be my password. Then I will say, okay, try to do the connection, and I put it on organizational level, or should I put it private? Let's leave it as organizational level, and I'll create the connector. So the connector is what I'm currently creating now, and so and immediately if it's created successfully, we are going to be seeing uh cleaning up on use continuing blah 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 blah. Blah. That means we've been able to create it successfully. But when you are creating this connector, right? Because I need to be sincere. I need to be very, very sincere. I encounter some so you might encounter some issues, some errors. Some might not. On my current, on my normal, on my second account, right? I did this thing, like I did the whole connector straightforward, right? But when I want to like do this thing again yesterday on another account, right? I encounter a lot of back and forth, right? So that's why I create a new user or a new user on my server. So then I create the password for that user. So I'm able to now use that password and use the user name that I created on my server and grant access to the databases that I need to grant access to, which is literally the way organization works. And maybe for mine, so what we have is username, you use your basic login to log into that user. So I believe, yeah. So I believe that might be the case for most of people. It's not that you are just connecting to the general server, right? So you have your own credential for the server. So is that credential you use the username and the password of that server, right? So and of that user, then if you're able to do that, that should work. And then for people that might encounter that, I am wondering how I'm able to get my to create the fabric to create the username on my create login username and password on my SQL. It's just SQL I use, and I'm going to try to copy a code that can help you to do that. It's a very straightforward code. Or even if you Google it up, or you just say create this thing. But I'm going to like drop a sample of that now. Let me check my folder. File manager coming. Is it what did I call it? It should be SQL query two. Don't open it Visual Studio. Open it here. Okay, so first of all, this is what you will do. Sorry. Trying to edit this thing. Just hold on for me, please. I need to send this pass. Sample. Use adventure. Easy. Easy name. Easy name. Easy name. Create user. Username. So. Login name. I don't understand. Auto divider fabric username. Sorry, coming. Username. Good. So I'm going to send the code, the block of code now to the chat. So all this, I'll still put it together in like a Word document where you can always go to when you need to create this thing to set this thing up for your org. Right. So I've sent I've sent it to the chat, right? I believe you can see it in my chat. So that's the connection, right? Okay, great. Okay. So once you're able to create a connection, right? Then you look for the connector. So what did I call it again? I know I call it something something. Okay, this is it. This is the this is the connection, right? So on this place we call it basic. So I think it's working perfectly now. So SQL, Nigeria SQL ingestor, blah 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 blah. Don't worry. You can be more you can be more creative with your naming stuff. Don't be like me. So where's the I think we are using this workspace. So which workspace are you using? So this workspace. Okay. So the next thing that I need to now do is to create the database, right? Which I want to use, which is SQL database. You can use warehouse as well as your landing, right? But I'm going to be using SQL database as my landing, right? So what I'm going to be using now is that I'll create fabric item. So if you are doing this on your work account, right? Your admin might be the one that will create the database for you, or you might be the one that will create the database. So that's why you need to have this in mind, right? So you create database. So you click on new item. So normal way that will create new item, right? So you create new item, you use SQL database, or you use SQL this thing. So let's say Fabric Nigeria, Fabric, what is it in its capital letter? Fabric Nigeria, Nigeria. So that's our database. That's our database. So that will be our the the naming. You get what I'm trying to say, right? The server. The server. So it's currently creating the database. So it's currently creating the database. So good. So now we have our database ready. So the next thing that we need to do now is to use pipeline. So we are going to be creating pipeline. So, and to create pipeline, once you create your database already, so Fabric is so how will I put it? So I don't want to say so easy because some people might not find it easy. There are some things that I want to do as well that I don't find it easy, but I believe that is compared to other this that's yeah, it is easy, very, very easy compared to other this that is I yeah, it's very easy. So I'll say new pipeline. So I'm going to create new pipeline. So you can see what you actually things that you can do. You can literally see it by just like once you create this thing, the next thing that you need to do is already looking at you, right? If you know your way around, it's already looking at you like yeah. So you are going to create new pipeline. So I'm going to give this pipeline um movement pipeline. So we're going to call it pipeline. So movement pipeline. And I'm going to be using my Fabric training as a workspace. Yes, the section, I believe the section is, yeah, is recording. So, and then maybe, let's say maybe I want to add this to my assigned tasks, right? So this is, I feel like some month ago, our boss, Mr. Fatai, like I think he was the one that explained um is it medallion architecture I'll call it, but it's different. Like there's this diagram in SQL in Fabric that
Task
you'll be
flow.
able to attach. Yes, so you'll be able to attach tasks for each distance. So for you to have like a proper organized stuff. So you can assign the tasks. So I'm assigning this as get data, is a movement. So I'll add it to get data. So I'm going to create or I'm going to click on create. So my pipeline will pop up for me. Then what is next? So when the pipeline pop up, something will first happen, right? So it's like it thinks maybe I just want to do copy data, right? So Fabric will suggest things for me, but that's not what I want to do. So I'm going to clear this. I'm going to say yes, cancel it. So once I cancel it, so the next thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to create my connection, right? So I'm going to be using lookup. I'm going to be using lookup. So to connect to my database, right? To create the connection between my server using the gateway as a bridge, then use it to now look through my whole database and know all the tables, all the schemas, like the old things that is inside that database, the store procedure, the security, everything, right? Look through it, then move it to SQL. So that's what we are going to be doing right away. So let's quickly jump on that. So uh, we before we take much of our time. So I'm going to click on lookup. So if you look at the top here, you see all these button, right? Under home tab here, you're going to see lookup is always beside notebook. So you click on lookup. So when you click on lookup, so what this lookup is doing is that it will look through the whole database and pick whatever we want to pick, right? So yeah, so so you give the lookup, you give it name, so you create name for it. So I'm going to say getting data or something like that. So getting data, so getting underscore, getting data. Let's see, getting data. So that should be my lookup name. And after that, so I'm going to click on settings. Once you change the name, so you're going to click on settings. So please make sure that you untick this, right? Make sure that you untick this. The reason for that is because if you don't untick this, but you know what? Let me leave it as tick, right? Then we are going to come back to it. So, and I'm going to click my connection. So, I create a connection that time. What is the name of that connection, sir? Uh, Probably something. So let me say browse all. So I'm going to be browsing all, and my connection is going to be, I'm going to be connecting to SQL Server database, which is our local one, wherever we host it. So we click on it. So, and when we do that, so we are going to give the server name here. So, and I believe we already, even if you are not me, we already know my server name. Please don't come and hack my server. So then my workspace name. So my database. So my database is AdventureWorks 2025. Then I'm going to put it there. So immediately I put it there. So because I've made connection before, right? So it will suggest that which one I want to use, but I'm using this second one, which is the ng SQL ingester on-prem SQL connector. Blah, 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 blah. Then I'm going to say I create my connection. So once I do that, so it's connecting. Good. So you can text your connection here. So you do testing connection. So for you to know that your connection is properly, you see what I'm saying? So you might want to come and edit, right? So it's probably asking for the password. So fabric. These are the errors that I was talking about. So, password. I need to use this script right there. Okay. So you update it. So once you update it, let's do the texting. So I believe we should text now. It's coming up. Data factory runtime is busy now. So because it's busy, we will not be able to connect our distance. What is doing very much? Let's check it one more time. Yeah, we need to refresh. Idris, you have something to say, Mr. Idris?
Yeah, so I want to ask, currently you are bringing in data from your on-prem server and you are using lookup. So let's say I want to bring from another source, let's say from the cloud to Fabric. So you guys
Okay.
use the same lookup or there's another thing I'm going to use?
Once it is database, right? Once it's database, I believe you are going to need that.
Okay, so lookup, that
Just,
means lookup works for everything.
yeah, the thing is that just wait, let's see the old this thing. I'm going to show you how you are going to like use this thing and how to make it work. So let's say lookup. We give a name. So it's getting. So we say settings, and we use our connector. So the connection is this. Then we can do testing, SQL Server. So let's say text it. Sim dado so.
Olayemi, is your gateway still running?
I believe so, but I
If
will
it's
start it now.
closed, that might be the issue. You need to ensure that the gateway is
It's running.
open.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll check it now. Let me quickly do this. So then, that's right.
Ọmọ ẹ ti ń fọwọ́
Then
sí
quickly.
ta lè sábẹ̀lẹ̀ pín ọ̀hún.
So I'm trying to troubleshoot the gateway thing. And at the same time, let's go to this place and connection. Parent connection and try to load it. So the details of everything is already prepared. So refresh it. So it's currently working yet. So we might want to say after we started as well. Luca, you want to say something also? That's what I'm doing currently. We started. What do you say?
Hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Luca.
So, since this your gateway is online already, you can try it again. If it doesn't work, I think I saw some firewall error there. So maybe you might have to set up like an ingress and this thing on your firewall. But
Yes.
just try it again first off. Let me see the error that you got.
The connection. If it should work now. Let's see. Yes. Let's check the error. Check the connection on the device correct and make sure that there is good. Okay. One more time.
If it's on-prem server, the authentication kind cannot be basic. It should be check the authentication kinds that you have there. Since you are providing a password, should be
Yeah,
Windows, I think.
yeah, I use basic for the yesterday. It works. So
But typically for an on-prem server, it should be Windows. Check the authentication kinds option that is available.
Windows basic 2 is available. I checked it. But I'll check it now. Okay. Yeah, so it's connect now.
So tell us what you did so that others can learn from
So
it.
what I did is that I remember that I need to toggle off using a scripted connection.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
So if there's anything to take away from this, I think everybody should know that toggling off that encrypt connection is a critical step in connecting to your on-prem server. Yeah, you can go
Yeah.
ahead. Thank you.
So we are going to be using a query, and what is that query doing? I'm going to drag a query. Where did I have it? I think I have it in my folder. Schema name query. Okay. So a new query, yes. So this query, what this query is doing is that I say. So you see this query, what it's doing is that I just want to like get the O. First of all, let me quickly use. Okay, I'm using it already. So I want to get the schema names from my from that is in my database, right? The table names that is in my database, the object and all those stuffs, the ID, where I need to join it with. Actually, I need to get that's the main thing I need to get, right? So the whole step and everything that we need to I get. And what I'm doing here is that I want to get anything, even if it is an image, even if the text, SQL variant and text, then timestamp, like anything. So we are trying not to load things that might break DB on the server side, things that SQL server Fabric SQL might not be able to like store. So we are trying to not to load that into it. So that's what this code is doing. So I'm going to run this code now. So I'm going to execute the code. So and when I execute the code, right? So what I can see, I'll do that. I'll send the code now. So what I will see here is that I will see the whole table, the schemas, all the schema that we have, all the schemas that we have. So, and the old tables. So we have about 61 tables, right? So, and all these tables, I want to load them at one run. I want to move them at a run straight up into our SQL DB, right? So I'm going to copy the query now. I'll copy the sys query. So I'll copy this query and paste it in the chat box now. So you might want to have it. So at the same time, I will still put it in the Word document I will send after this class to the group. So, but you can save it here. So then that will be the query. So this particular query is what I will now use on in the query section in the pipeline. So I'll come here, I'll come to this place. I change it from table here, I change it to query. And inside that query, I'll put it here. Right? I'll put it there inside the query. So I'll put them inside the query, right? Then what did I need to do? No, that's not what I need to do. Cancel. Okay. Cancel. So this is the query, and I can preview that query here. So I'll preview the data, and we should be able to see the same data set, the same result of that data set that I just showed us on SQL Server Management Studio now. So these are the tables name, right? These are the tables name. Just show us the table name. Let me quickly brush up because of my time is going. So then that's that about that. So that means I've created the connection successfully. So all I need to do next is that on this place, this arrow bar, right? I'm going to click on this arrow bar. So once I click on this arrow bar, this one, all I need to do next is that I'm going to do for each. So this one will loop it through, right? So this is more like we want to create the loop. So let's call it data db dp, right? So this one, what it's doing is that it's doing looping. So once I do that, so we go under settings. So when we go under settings, our item, so I'm going to create add dynamic content. So I'm going to click on add dynamic content. So you click on the first one that you see here, which is getting data. So when you click on getting data, so the code will show up here for you saying the activities, then put the name of the lookup, that we created, this one puts in between the dot output. So it's not just dot output that we want. So I'll put dot value in front of it, dot value. So I'll copy this one and send it to the chat too. So dot value, right? So if we do dot value, then we can click on OK. So what it's doing is that it's getting the value of the activities, right? Of this, the output of this lookup, right, is getting it into the for each. So then I'm going to create my activities inside my for each. I'll create my activities, and my activity is going to be copy data, right? So my activity is going to be copy data. So then I'm going to change the name of the copy data, right, as well on here. So I'll change it. I'll say yes. Oh, right? So then I can say source. So the source will now be our source. So the source will be, sorry. So the source will be this one I'll create now. So we refresh it. Then the connection type. So the connection type is SQL Server. So you test the connection, you make sure that the connection is properly working. Yeah, so you test the connection, you make sure that the connection is properly working, and so on and so forth, right? That's about that for now. Then once you're able to do that, right? So you rename it, then you click on the source. So you click on tables and you click on more. So what is this one showing me? Also, I want to say enter manually. So when I click on enter manually, I'll click on enter manually. Then you see add dynamic contents under enter manually, and it's asking for the schema name, right? And we already know what our schema name is. It's just schema, the list that the table that I sent. So all I need to do is just that I'll click on this guy, and yeah, I'm coming. Let me quickly check something if what I'm doing is correct. So what I need to do is just that I'll say item, then I'll say dot schema inside here, schema. Remember that the table name, this table that we created here, this table that we do here, this is schema name and this is table. So that's two things that we need to put in mind. So I'll click on OK, then that's giving me the schema. Then on the table side, so I'll click on add dynamic content, then I'll click on the loop, this one, then I'll say dot table, right? Then I'll click on OK. And immediately I click on OK, I can preview the data. So if I preview the data, it's saying that it's expecting something that is not something. And it's because what we did here is because of what we did here. So we're supposed to say we toggle this off, first row only, right? So we toggle it off. Let's toggle it off. Then if you come to this place now, we do our ingest, right? So we can, if we preview the data, so we should be able to preview the data. We should save it. I know. Just want to save it. So once I save it, I should be able to preview the data. Okay, anyways, nice of it. So we go to destination. So if I go to destination, where am I landing my stuff? So I'm landing into Fabric SQL alignment. Is that the database I've created? So let me quickly use browse all. Sorry, I've used up my time, but let me quickly brush up. Gosh, be fast. On the catalog. Why is it taking 10 the end? 10 time to okay. What is happening? So okay, Fabric DB. So that's the one that we are landing it into, the Fabric DB that I created that time. So that's where will be our destination, right? So, and we are going to say auto create tables if this is the first time we are doing the distance. So it's going to be moving the table straight up, and the schema is going to still be the stuff that we created here. So, but this one will be the schema. So it will be the same schema name that is there on the first on DB side, on our PC, on our server side, that will still come here. Nothing change. So dot table two. So the tables that are there as well. So you do this thing and you click on just create, right? Then I believe that should be it, right? So then let's say we want to validate it. So we validate it, and what we need to do now is to run it. So I'm going to save and run it and see wonderful dots in action. Yeah. Mm. So it's already getting data, moving it from here over here. Hold it. So we can ask our question now. So while we're waiting for the pipeline to run, if you have any question, you can unmute, ask your question. So let's go on.
Hello, everyone. So I think at this point, you can begin to ask your question if you have any. So while we are warming up for question, or if you don't have, let me just do a quick recap of what has been done so far. So what we are trying to do is to actually to get the data from on-prem data source, and imagine you are moving a lot of tables. So what you typically do, you have to configure a copy activity for each of the tables. But instead of that, there are some activities that are called control activity. One of those type of activity is lookup activity for each activity. So Olayemi, if you can navigate on your screen and go to activities tab.
This one, Abby?
No, the top, home, activity,
Okay,
more,
okay, okay,
and
okay.
view.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the ellipsis towards the extreme right.
So we
Yeah,
can
so
see all
you
the
see how
activities that we
the
have done.
activities categorized. So you can see the metadata activity, and then also you have your control flow activity. So that is what we have. So under metadata activity, you have lookup activity, which is the first activity in this pipeline. So it is getting the metadata because your schema now is the metadata for this ingestion, right? And then after getting and retrieving the list of all the tables you have in your database, then you need to copy it. Now, are you going to be creating copy activity for each of the tables? No. then that's where the place of for each activity comes in. So the for each activity is the parent activity. Within it, we have the copy activity, so which is the child activity that is nested inside the for each activity. So what it is doing basically is that it is looping through all the tables, one after the other. So if you have 10 tables, it's going to loop through it 10 times. So think about for loop in your Python code. So it's going to look through each of those activity, and the name of the table being copied is being passed down from the lookup activity. You remember that when we did a preview of the lookup activity, we have a list of the tables, and then at the point you are configuring your for each activity, you have dynamic expressions that is actually extracting the name of the table and their respective schemas. So that is why you now have this activity running now. And then if you click on any of these sub activities, the ones that are green already, then you can see the exact table that was copied, the number of records that was copied on it as well. So Olayemi, can you please click on any one of them?
Easy.
The name itself.
So you read
ingestor. Click on the ingestor.
Okay. This one be okay.
Yes, click on it. It's clickable. So you can see a nice summary showing us the source and the destination. And for this, I think we should have the name of the table that was copied somewhere in here. Expand on the breakdown and the duration, advance and duration. Anyway, but I was trying to see if I can get the name of the table that was copied.
Tables,
So
yes.
this is one of the tables from that schema that is being copied from our source data, which is the on-prem source, to Fabric SQL database. And one thing that is very important is that since you are using your on-prem data source, you need to have your online gateway configured. That's like a connection being established between your on-prem and also your cloud environment, because Fabric is actually a cloud environment. So that's just a summary of everything that has been done so far. Is there any question?
So for now, let me quickly go to the SQL database. While some tables are still coming in, but while some tables are still coming in, if we go to now, we can see the whole schema, right? We can see the whole schema. If we check these schemas now, you can see the tables. Many tables are still coming in. So with the views that we have there, you can see the store procedure and some other things. Okay, I did not load the store procedure. Oh, sorry. Supposed to like I can do all those ones to specify what I want, the things I want, right, from that tables, right? So I can do all those ones. So it depends on the query, the output of the query that the instruction that you tell the loop to loop through, right? So yeah, but the tables are now there. The movement of the old tables, they're now coming in. See these production tables, tables are still coming in. So if I say let's do the whole refreshing again, so you see stable are still coming in. People are still coming in, but yeah. So that's basically the whole movement of the whole thing, right? That's basically the whole thing, right? So in the absence of no question, I think that should be that should be it, right?
Yes, thank you, Olayemi. It was
Yeah,
very
really.
wonderful session, and then I believe that all of us have learned one or two things in how you can actually ingest data from on-prem to server. For me, I think I've experienced that issue of checking and unchecking the inscription, which because I've not done in a very long time, I've forgotten, but that joggled my memory. And of course, this is also a metadata-driven activity, which saves us a lot of time. So thank you for wonderful session, and also thank you all for joining. So now we are going to have the